Okay, so with all due, I must say, How to Train Your Dragon is quite possibly the best live action adaptation from a loved animated film that we have ever gotten. Now, go for say the bar isn't really high, but what we got was what we got. Now, depending on how you feel about some live action adaptations, this one is really good. And the only reason why I say it's really good is because they really nailed the castings. Me personally, I think the kid who plays Hiccup, who I really wish I could remember his name right now, he was great. I thought he felt like Hiccup. I thought he kind of was believably Hiccup. Nico Parker, I know people are going to complain about the whole racial swapping thing, but honestly, she felt like Astrid. Like, I thought her performance was great. I thought she was believably Astrid. She had Astrid's stubborn personality down, then the little soft change up towards the middle. I thought she did a really great job portraying Astrid, and it felt like she genuinely cared to be the character instead of just being the obligatory race swap in modern movies. It was nice to see Gerard Butler return as the dad in like a live action thing, and he felt great. Like he was just as great as he was in voicing the character. Now I know a lot of people would say he kind of overdid it. I think a lot of people have been saying some of the acting was overdone in the movie, but they were portraying over the top Vikings for from an animated film. So if we're gonna go by that logic, then they all did really well. The twins were great. Honestly, I thought everyone was casted really well. I was very impressed with how good the dragons looked because I was concerned. Like I was like, man, these dragons could look really bad. And no, they look really good. The dragons, all of them, even the big dragon at the end, where I was just kind of like, oh my god, this is crazy. But all in all, I thought they played it a little safe, and honestly, I think it was good that they played it safe. I know people might have issues with that, but who gives a damn? They played it safe in a way where they just made How to Train Your Dragon, but live action. Now, one big gripe to the movie is they left out a very important part of the film that I think was necessary to keep in. And to be directed by the same guy who directed the original trilogy, I do have an issue with that because, bruh, that was something you purposely knew was useful and forgot about it. So it does feel kind of random at the end. But if you saw How to Train Your Dragon, the animated film, it doesn't really matter. But the sequence that they left out, spoiler, is when Hiccup finds out that dragons are fireproof, but not on the inside. That part is very important for later on in the film. That is forgotten about, and that's a very crucial scene. Even if it's for a short period of time, it's still crucial. Every other aspect of dragons is left in the designs, like it just looks really good. I was very impressed with how Toothless looked specifically. Like he looks perfect. He looks straight up like Toothless, but just a real life dragon. I saw some behind the scene footages, and it seems like they did some set building, some like some blue screen. So they didn't green screen; they blue screened, which might be why the overall tone of the film looks good because blue screen just looks better than green screen, in my opinion. What else goes on? Like I said, this can't be too long because it's literally just How to Train Your Dragon, but live action. But I honestly think this is really good. I mean, the bar is not high, like I said earlier in the video. The bar is not high, and it's the best live action adaptation this year because I know a lot of people seem to really dislike Lilo and Stitch. Even though if you've seen my video on Lilo and Stitch, I don't think it's that bad. I do agree that the ending is a little bit of an issue, but there's more charm to that live action adaptation than a lot of the other ones we've gotten, and it's still Disney's second best live action adaptation because let's be real here, the only one that I think is really good is The Jungle Book, and that's because I think that's better than the animated film. So just a little side note there, but I was impressed with how well they put in the work. I was impressed with how well the director did latch on to the script of the original and just made it. The movie in and of itself. is good. It's a good movie. I'm glad it's gonna do. It seems like it's gonna do really well at the box office. Kind of slowed down Lilo and Stitch's momentum, but to have two live action films of beloved animated films doing really well at the box office, I can't really complain. And on a side note, the action is allowed to stay the action. The cleverness is allowed to stay the cleverness. The characters are still the characters. I'm glad they managed to keep the heart, the warmth, and the charm of the original animated film. I know that's really hard to do when doing live action, but they pulled that off. And it still doesn't quite land like the original, but I don't think it's really supposed to. And that's a good thing. Honestly, that's okay because DreamWorks is clearly going to try the live action route and they picked the perfect series to do it with. Because, like, what would live action Shrek look like? Or like live action Madagascar or Ants, you know? So let's just be glad that DreamWorks went with something that's really popular, like How to Train Your Dragon, and actually managed to succeed in that they made the live action film feel like the original. So you still get that feeling. You still get the emotions. You still get the triumph. You still get the togetherness of How to Train Your Dragon, which I'm very happy about. So I could say I would give How to Train Your Dragon the live action. I'd say like a honest 8 out of 10. I think it's really good. Just that one scene missing aside. So if I really like How to Train Your Dragon, and I give that like an 8.5 to a 9, then I give the live action adaptation an 8. And that's perfectly fine with me. If you don't agree, I completely understand. If you do agree, I also understand. So, if you made it this far, make sure you smash that like button, comment, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you on the next one.